I know I'm not a math teacher, but I'm telling you, I didn't count 5 armies. Alright, let's take a look. Okay, there were the elves, the dwarves, the evil horde of orcs. I don't know, maybe the humans were one? Wait. I think I found it. Yeah, the last army. Wait, can we zoom in on that picture? Really zoom in. Yup, there they are. The army of accountants needed to count Jackson's money. And yes, all accountants in Middle-earth are goblins. You should see the lawyers. The subtitle, The Battle of the 5 Armies, that pretty much tells you everything you need to know, because that's pretty much what you get. In fact, if every title was that honest, then the 3rd installment in the original trilogy would have been called The Lord of the Rings, Your Ass is Going to Be Numb. While we're on the topic of insanely long films that seemingly never end, Interstellar? This last Middle-earth film is the snappiest, coming in at a paltry 2 hours and 24 minutes. And yet my biggest complaint is that it could still use an editor's touch. Don't get me wrong, we get right to slaying dragons and battling armies, but on more than a few occasions, there are certain scenes that go on uncomfortably long. Thorin's descent into madness and paranoia was a perfect example. There's one scene where he's hearing voices and it seems to go on forever until you're crazy right along with them. It was Amazing Spider-Man 2 all over again. It also happened when certain characters were clearly about to die, and I don't mean to give anything away, but one death specifically was almost comical. This character was literally at knife's edge, but instead of the final blow coming, he's exchanging longing glances with another character. Meanwhile, I'm thinking to myself, why isn't the orc just killing him? Oh my god, I'm worse than the lawyers. Now, I'm admittedly overcritical about this chapter because at this point, it's his 6th film. What does Jackson have left to do? The fact of the matter is, at this point, you've seen it all before. The only thing you haven't seen is how this chapter is going to wrap up. So let's see if bringing in Legolas, bringing back Galadriel, Elrond, and Sauron, and making up Tauriel has paid off. My honest opinion is no, not really anyways. Because there were so many stories to wrap up, so many relationships and friendships to bring to a close, that inevitably meant that some of these subplots would be shortchanged. As a result, the pacing is thrown off. Some characters get way too much screen time and others are barely in it. If you go back to my review of An Unexpected Journey, then one of my biggest criticisms was that the dwarves were awesome characters and yet only 3 of them saw any real screen time. Thorin, played brilliantly by Richard Armitage, and Aidan Turner's Keeley are the only 2 dwarves in this 3rd installment that get any kind of character development. And Keeley really only gets it because of that aforementioned made-up romance with Tauriel. That means Ken Stott, who's been the heart of this trilogy as Balin, and my favorite Irish character actor James Nesbitt as Boffer, are barely in this one. But there's a cameo introducing a new dwarf character that pretty much makes up for that. If you haven't read the books, then you're probably wondering how a small company of dwarves amassed an army, and it's because Thorin's cousin Dane from the Iron Hills came to represent his people. Most importantly, the wonderful Billy Connolly plays Dane, and this is a man who every time he's on the big screen puts the character in character actor. So I don't get as much Nesbitt, but I do get a little Connolly. Trading in my favorite Irish character actor for my favorite Scottish character actor? I'll take that trade. Although I'd never say that in front of any Irish or Scottish person. Connolly's presence and that great wispy brogue of his brings such warmth and hilarity, and yet with such a sarcastic Scottish wit, that I couldn't think of anybody I would rather see as a dwarf. He was a pleasant surprise, and this installment's for the win. And with him comes the battle scene. And ultimately, all my complaints about the pace of the story go out the window, because can you really complain about the pace of a film when the climactic scene lasts 45 minutes? I wish all climaxes lasted that long. And I really wish my mother's not watching this review. Like I said at the beginning, if you want 5 armies battling, that's what you get. And it does not disappoint in its scale, its enormity, its excitement, and its tension. And of course you get that great heroic moment where they're running at the camera in slow motion. When has that ever not looked cool? My last touch of criticism is that I never thought I'd be sitting here in late 2014 complaining about the CG of Weta Workshop. And yet, some of the characters I felt were not up to snuff. Maybe it was just the character design, but some of the trolls looked really cheap. Like First Harry Potter cheap. In 6 of the last 13 years, when it comes to late December, Peter Jackson has given you an unparalleled movie-going experience, and he really knows how to immerse you in Middle-earth. No surprise here, it's an earn it. Poll question, out of the 6, what has been your favorite Middle-earth film? As always, leave your answers in the comment section below. Subscribe to Real School, follow me on Twitter, and of course, being the season of giving, if you'd like to give a little back to Real School, just follow the link below and you can become a Real School patron. But until next time, school's out.